Start a motherfucking riot. Start a motherfucking riot. Start a motherfucking riot. Start a motherfucking riot. Start a riot for Trayvon in a hoodie. Zimmerman signing autographs now. How the hell could he? Not guilty, and all anyone did was hashtag it on Twitter and change their profile pic. It stopped trending, everybody stopped caring. If Dr. King was alive, I swear he'd be embarrassed. So I'ma get to cracking, not waiting for it to happen. I'm ready to take it back when the message was heard in rapping. Revolution on the beat that I'ma move to the streets. I'll be the voice that every person listen to when it speaks. Refuse to be a celebrity with some views of the week. Not afraid to wave the finger at abuse from police. So smash a bottle, make noise, break a window until we so loud they can't ignore the crescendo. Let's see some anger, show your fists, get rowdy, but don't just get mad, do something about it. Start a motherfucking riot. Start a motherfucking riot. Start a motherfucking riot. Start a motherfucking riot. Start a riot cause they'd rather fill a prison than raise the minimum wage to reflect the cost of living. Dependence on our government's what we teaching our children. Welfare, EBT, and Section 8 in the building. No money for education, they spend with no hesitation on building those chains and cages they used to lock and enslave us. Impossible to escape it cause they released us on paper. So now we talking parole or maybe formal probation with rules and them regulations they made up along the way. So now a stupid little issue will cause you a violation. It's back to a place you never wanted to be in, and you laugh at the idea of this American freedom. So smash a bottle, make noise, break a window until we so loud they can't ignore the crescendo. Let's see some anger, show your fists, get rowdy, but don't just get mad, do something about it. Start a motherfucking riot. Start a motherfucking riot. Start a motherfucking riot. Start a motherfucking riot.
We do, but yeah. Oh, wait. Danny can't hear me. Let's reset real quick. Let's get this unmuted real quick. Yeah, here we go. You hear me?
There you are. You sound great now.
Let's try this again.
Baby.
B-side show. Act like you know every single Monday. My name's Rabbit.
And I'm Dani K, Bad Day Killer.
Bad Day Killer. And you do that. Danny, you stay positive, even though there's a lot of shit going on. We'll get to it and stuff like that. But first off, like I said, I saw you out there and stuff. So I just want to, I was glad that everything's good. You're back home. You're safe. That's what we need to worry about. Keep our people safe. That's it.
Yes, definitely. My choice was to do an effective march. I actually took a class on peaceful rallying and peaceful protesting and how to diffuse situations like that. And so I selected to go to an organized event, which was a march. And it was about 1.5 miles long. We marched all the way to City Hall and to the police department. We spent our time there. We talked to the police that were on the line while we were, with our And we all need to keep our cool and remember what it is we're supposed to do and protect one another and protect our businesses.
You touched on that a little bit when we were texting earlier, though. Is that it feels like we're in the Truman Show, and there's a lot of things going
Yes.
on that, and now it's like, I mean, I can't say it's only because of social media, though. I think just people are just getting more woke to what's going on. A lot of people that normally wouldn't care, and I'm gonna say including myself, because I didn't. I told my brother, man, years back, I didn't care much about all this stuff. And it affects me different now. I got a whole family to look after, and the shit is real. And I don't think that's the only change within me. I think it's also been just growing up and becoming mature. But a lot of this shit I just been paying a little more close attention to, and a lot of weird shit going on, man. uh, before I get into that, like real quick though, man, rest in peace to Mr. Floyd. Condolences to his family, and not just him. Ahmaud Arbery. There's so many people like we
Sandra
lit,
Bland, Mario Woods. I mean, we could go on and on.
that's what I was gonna say, is like we could have a whole show of just the list, like, and this is like not that long. We can go a year, 2 years, and we could have a whole show on the list. It's ridiculous at this point. And
Like
so
Will Smith said, he said, this has been going on already
yeah.
since prior to segregation. The difference is now we have the ability to see it, share it, and record it. We didn't have that ability before. So this is nothing new. It's just new to a lot of people, and it's getting into their peripheral when before it just was not something that they were even aware of.
Yeah, and that's the difference between, I mean, if I can say it, all the uprisings, and I don't mean no disrespect to any of them, but the uprisings have all been from mostly the same points: racism, and
Mhm.
fires and looting, is because you have to hear our voice somehow in these communities. But, and no disrespect to any of the uprisings, I just think the difference is people are actually really like knowing kind of what's going on behind the scenes, whereas before it kind of got swept under the rug. People pay a little money, whatever they want to do, but now people ain't standing for it right now, and it's evident. So
Pac said it. He said, we're hungry. We see y'all in there in the banquet room. Y'all are having a party. You're eating, and we're like, hey, we're going to sing a song. We're hungry, y'all. Can we get a bite to eat? And eventually we're going to knock a little harder, start screaming, banging some pots. And eventually, we're going to break that damn motherfucking door down. And it's not because that's the way that we just are. We're not animals. No one is. But you back someone into a corner and you give them the fight or flight environment, and guess what? That's what you get. And it's sad because it's a systematic plan, and we're falling right into it.
yeah, and it's just, I mean, I guess for me personally, the saddest part of the whole thing is, like, usually there's some, and I understand all politicians are corrupt. I get all that, but usually there's some leadership in place to make people feel at least a little more like there's hope. Because this guy right now, man, he got people feeling like there's no hope. He just pulling out guns on cats, and you don't give a shit. And he's playing tough guy, but then he, slept in the bunker last night. So,
Right.
crazy shit, man.
Most of the time, people who dish a lot of shit out aren't the ones who can take it.
Right.
You know.
Glad you said
And
that, Danny.
I
Glad.
do honestly hope that he is. I mean, we've already seen the double standards in his language, but sometimes you can't go back on an executive order that you put in place. And if we're catching these people, I have a ton of footage that I'm putting into a compilation right now in different cities around our metropolitan areas. And literally, it's,
a brown or a black person walking up to a white person, no, not to be racist, this is just my video footage that I have been capturing, and they're saying, what are you doing? Put the spray can down. We didn't ask you to do that. We don't want you writing. That's not why we're here. And they're taking the spray cans away from these kids and these, whoever these people are. Another woman, I saw her walk up and hand the brick back to the people who were getting in their car and said, don't give a black man a brick. What are you thinking?
And I'm glad you brought that up, because that's what I was gonna get to earlier too. Is just those types of things. Is like you were saying, the Truman Show, and it's like, what are bricks doing in the middle of nowhere?
Right, just
no
conveniently put there, right?
in front of glass windows and businesses, and oh man, this shit's it's so crazy. Because at least in my lifetime, and I'm pretty old already, I joke about it on the show all the time, but you know what, fuck it, I'm hip-hop. Shit, I'm old as hip-hop. So what I'm saying is that like it's things are strategically in place to put things in motion that they want to happen, so they can bring their agenda into play. And it's just kind of crazy. It's kind of disheartening. But what I was gonna say is, it's like something I've never seen in my life. Except, somebody told me that Nixon. So I'm gonna go back and see. That's my fault. Like,
Ooh, you're going back to CounterPro.
Like, I don't know enough about all the, like, because I told you, I'm just like, not just now, but it's been the last few years. Maybe I've been actually maturing. Maybe it had something to do with having a kid. I don't know, but
it did.
Yeah. But the point being is, I got to do more of myself. But you know what? When I do speak about things, I am pretty knowledge on what I talk about. I don't like to just talk out of the ass, and like most people do on social media, So one thing I did kind of want to touch on is with you, Dani, until I think Zep should be coming in soon, and if not, man, we got shit to talk about. Shit, this is our platform. Yeah. But I was gonna touch on real quick the whole Black Lives Matter thing. See, that's kind of what I was getting at before we came on air, and I still see people, and they don't get the concept of it. Like, it's like, well, don't all lives matter? Like, they're just they're missing the whole point. And then it also negates from the fact that you just saw a man get his neck stomped on till he died, and you don't care that the other three people have been in, like, this shit is crazy to me. Like,
it's absolutely crazy.
Well, no, it's crazy how delusional people are. Like, how do you not see that?
They don't even realize what a knee to the neck is. Say, I'm a mixed martial artist, and for us, that is absolutely, we are not allowed to do that. That is grounds for termination from even being allowed to nationally compete. You will be kicked out and blacklisted from all sport competitions when you do that, because there's a major artery back there. And when you cut off that supply, yeah, the person's still breathing. That's why he's talking. But he actually is losing oxygen to the brain, his limbs. He could end up paralyzed from one side. There's a bunch of reasons why we do not apply pressure to the neck like that unless you're doing a, rear naked choke. And that's when the person usually taps out. So, it's just a huge thing that I really wanted to point out, as a lot of people are not taking it seriously, that particular hold. And that is an extremely lethal hold. And now, obviously, we know that.
And plus, even besides that, like, to do that for what was it, 9 minutes or whatever, is like, they kind of knew, and they had no regard for cameras, anything. It's just,
Did you see the ambulance who came? Did you notice that the ambulance that pulled up wasn't even an actual EMT?
And it was a real quick check of the pulse or something, and like, oh man, crazy shit going on. I'm really excited. I'm in the chat, and not to divert from what we're talking about, but we have a guest from Bangladesh. So he actually drew this. I know you can't really quite see it, but he drew this with pencil, and his name is Robin Razavi, and he's all the way in Bangladesh. So I just wanted to shout him out.
He's an amazing artist. If y'all want to give him a follow,
That's amazing.
he draws every single day, and I'm loving that. As much as this is a bad situation, we are definitely now feeling what it feels like for our brothers and sisters in other countries who are getting treated this way by our military on a regular basis, and we don't feel that. So it doesn't resonate with us.
Yes.
And now we are understanding what the hell they've been going through.
And if if you draw ugly people, draw me, bro. I'm down. But
Robin.
I'm just I'm shedding light, but here's the other trippy part besides what you said about how they, other countries may have been treated by the military or whatever because they're orders, nothing against the people. They're trying to make a living. I mean, a lot of times people have to go to the military, because they have no other choice. And they're forced to follow the agenda, you know what I mean? But some people do get a little bit more woke and everything like that. But the other point I was going to make is that other countries are literally tuning in every day to our country like a soap opera because of this orange fucker. And this is crazy to me. Like, that just, to me, that compromises us, our strength, and it compromises everything as far as I'm concerned. He's going to, especially, he basically declared war on his own country. So that's the shit I've never seen it in my life, and I'm old, so that's crazy to me. I can't get through that part. What
yeah, I feel you on that.
Yeah. What do you think, Shaye? What's your?
Well, I just wanted to say, I told
can you hear Shaye?
Yeah, can you?
Shaye sounds great.
Okay, good.
Thanks.
Go.
Yeah, I told you earlier, but yeah, I just wanted to thank you and for the spreading the awareness of like some of the more positive side of what's going on with the protests, of what's going on, because if you watch the news, you'll pretty much see they're gonna find all the the most the worst stuff that's happening. That's what they're gonna follow, and that's what they're gonna film. So
absolutely,
the fact that we're able to highlight some of the and I hate to say like it shouldn't really be like us against them. It's not really a race thing. It's kind of like the oppressed against the oppressors, like the people in charge, and it's like, so like if we could just come together and just like I seen a lot of the videos that you posted that people did, that's a step in the right direction. Even like
it absolutely is.
Yeah, and I seen like one, like the police officer, he was Latino, and he was like giving a really passionate speech in a black neighborhood.
That was in
yes.
Texas, I believe, right?
And they were literally listening to what he had to say, and then you had some of the actual responsible.
That was with Trey the Truth, I think, was one of the
You saw that, yeah. So just and some of the people, like the more mature people, even from the hood, there, like they know what's right too, and they're gonna stick up for their hoods and make sure that we're not made to look like bad. So it's good that they step up, and I hate to say that a lot of it is uneducated, like younger people that aren't they're just missing the point of what's going on. That's my opinion.
Well, do you remember the LA riots? Because I was 14 or so around that time.
Yeah, I was like in junior high.
I'm not gonna lie, I partook. You know what I'm saying? Because it was a moment in history, and everyone was looting and rioting.
We
and
almost
hey, man,
did.
I got me some shit, homie.
We
you know
almost
what I'm saying?
Did. Yeah.
So I understand.
Yes,
I do. And I also understand the side of the police officers. That's why I posted my most recent post before our flyer was the black woman. And I do believe that was Fort Lauderdale. And she's a woman in blue, a woman in black with the shield. And a homeboy, big old SWAT looking mofo, walked up to everybody. And he was just in everyone's face. And you can hear everybody saying, "Don't touch him, don't touch him, don't touch him, don't touch him." And there's a woman sitting behind him holding up her sign. And here comes, his colleague, a woman, black woman, strong queen in her uniform. And she grabs him and turns his ass around and says, "Get your ass back on over there." And he pushes that chick out of the way. And, she walks on over there and she's telling everybody like, "Y'all need to be checking this mother. You need to check yourself, blah, blah, blah." You could tell she's saying something. And my heart goes out to those officers, just like the one who got fired for expressing his opinion about wanting to back us up for our amendment rights, that he feels like if he's compromising amendment rights of citizens, that he needs to stand down, that's not what he signed up for. And he got fired for that.
Yep. That's what it's gonna take is like people that in the police force that have joined for the right reasons, the stand up people, the people that want change. Like it's time for them to like speak up and like they got to forget about that. What is it? That thin blue line, whatever it is. The code of silence, whatever it is they have, because they're watching this stuff happen right in front of them, and and there's something they could do about it, and they should.
Yeah, and that's the other thing that I was that's the thing that needs to take place eventually. I mean, it's probably going to take till November to make something like, I mean, I hope not, but the thing is somebody needs to police the police, you know what I mean? And this shit is sometimes really blatant, and they just to turn a blind eye. I mean, I'm sure a lot of these people, maybe some of them grew up. I mean, see, I don't want to go there either, but sometimes some of these people have maybe got punked or something in school by somebody a certain race, so then they become a cop, and then they can flex their muscle a little bit, because there's really no repercussions, as we've seen, because you could stand by and watch somebody get killed and nothing will happen to you. So,
well, you'd be surprised. I mean, my ex-husband disturbed the crap out of me when I met him. He was telling me he wanted to be a cop. I asked him why, and he was like, well, wouldn't you? You could do whatever you want. You can drive as fast as you want. You can run a red light. You're strapped. And I'm like, whoa.
Take a strap into a bar when you're getting drunk and when you're off duty, stuff like that. And I've seen all that.
Yeah.
Like,
I was like, wow, man, you're in it for the wrong reasons. I hope you don't pass your psych test, because I don't fuck with cops. Straight up, I'm like, we could have fun, but I ain't trying to be married to you. Yeah, just letting you know.
And I got and that's the thing too, is I know people that are cops. I got relatives that are cops. But I mean, maybe I don't know them that well, like to know, you know what I mean? But the thing is, that's what I'm saying, is I never got any vibe from any of them that they were one of those kind of ones, and I'm hoping that they haven't been in a situation where they could have possibly stopped somebody, at least from getting, I mean, for sure from getting killed, but hopefully not beaten up. I mean, we actually, a lot of us that and see, I'll talk on this. I can talk on this. Like I've never been like I'm not going to say did all this jail time and all that shit. I have my little rounds or whatever, but I knew that wasn't for me. But what I have done is I have paid taxes, and why would I want my tax dollars to go to this kind of stuff? Where
I'm glad you brought that up.
Well, here's the thing: is because I've never felt protected by them, and that's sad. And I'm not. And
it's to protect and serve is literally on their badge. But I trip out on this. I just posted this on my story. It says, for those of you all who prioritize your pocketbook over people, the LASD paid out $81.5 million in settlements in 18 and 19 fiscal year for the LAPD and the city of LA. 80 million the fiscal year of 2017 and 2018. So that's a total of $160 million that we have spent for police misconduct lawsuits. So talk about your tax money and it going to the wrong things. And it is right there.
And wasn't it just passed today? Because I had to pull it back up because I was ready for this. But I didn't even know you were going to bring that up. But here's the thing. And today it was just passed, I believe officially, that out of there's a $3 billion budget for the LAPD, which is 53% of the entire city budget. The LAPD budget has increased year over year since 2012. And that's a lot of that. A lot of that. First of all, you shouldn't need more police. You should just need a better way to interact with the people, first of all. But
right.
So if you don't need more police, so the money is obviously if people just come on, if people don't know that are listening, it's to cover up these lawsuits from beating the shit out of people that don't deserve it.
Absolutely.
So,
police misconduct. Renee here in the chat, because I'm lurking in the chat, y'all. if you want to tap in, talk to me. I'm over here multitasking like a mofo. But Renee said that law enforcement are not supposed to show empathy or compassion towards the protesters. So much respect to those who show their humanity while on duty.
Thank you, sir. Sir or madam, whoever that was. Was that Renee?
It's a sir.
Okay, Renee, I don't know. I mean, but thank you, sir.
Boricua's in the building.
That's right. Thank you, sir. But real talk. I mean, and that's the thing too. And I'm not. Here's the other thing. I'm not all for, for sure. I'm not a troll. I never go. I don't care what people are doing on their page. I don't agree with people most of the time. I just like kind of roll by. But I always support people that are doing stuff. But some of the stuff I can't support some people's views on what's going on when they don't see the big picture. And I'm happy for people like Renee that can actually say something educated. Like instead of, you know what I'm saying though, Dani? Like there's these people, hey, there is it she or he? I forgot.
This is a he.
Oh, okay.
Dani Killafournya. He wanted to say what's up to everybody and tell everyone to keep it chill. He's super chill.
Yeah.
To say what's up to your cat. Y'all have a cat too.
Sorry,
what's
homie.
Her name?
Pepper's over there somewhere. That's
Pepper the pothead.
Yeah.
Like hiding out, probably.
Shay named her Pepper Potts, but I call her
Pepper Pot. My bad.
Yeah, that's all good.
Yeah, but hey, but what you know what I was getting at is people like Renee that could actually. All I'm saying is, if you are gonna respond to stuff, at least be somewhat educated about what you're talking about. I just hate when people just run off at the lip and and
yeah, talk a bunch of shit.
Yeah, and first of all, and keep passing by the fact you saw a man get his life stomped out, whether he had a $20 bill that was fake. That's irrelevant.
Yeah, it actually ended up being not fake, but you're right, it is irrelevant. Yeah. But I do have to interject. I wrote a paper when I was in college about the desensitization of people who watch killings and acts of crime and violence and play first-person shooter games on a regular basis. Now, what those things do is they desensitize our actual consciousness, because the subconscious mind can't tell the difference between reality and a dream or, a daydream. To the subconscious, it's real. So every single time you watch a senseless murder or somebody getting beat up on IG or, American Gladiators or whatever it is that you're watching, you are desensitizing yourself and your spirit to having empathy for other people. So a child, by the time they're usually by the age of 8 or 9, they've witnessed counts of rape, attack, mutilation, a ton of different things. And this is important for children. You have small child now, Rabbit. So I know, sometimes we're not aware.
Here's something I want to say to that, though. And this I don't know if it's a counterpoint or not, Dani, but look, I grew up, and see, I never wanted to watch all that shit, but I did get curious. And when I was a real youngster, there was these videos that used to come out on VHS, Faces of Death. And they were real, they were real shit, right? And then but I caught myself watching it, and then I've seen things, and I've been around a lot of stuff. I've gotten fucked up and beat up a lot of times. I've gotten jumped. I've got where sometimes I didn't know and I've gotten harassed by cops where almost beat up, but I guess being smart and being able to talk, I kind of got myself out of these situations where one time I even started yelling, "Hey, everybody, look, they're going to be this was the shit that I was on. And my mind shouldn't be like that when you get just generally harassed by cops. But my point that I was getting at is that even though I've seen all these things and seen people get fucked up and shit that they don't deserve and watch Faces of Death, to me, I've never, even watching movies or shit like that, I've never been desensitized to it, because I've always had that thing in the back of my mind where, imagine what if that was me? And then shit like that, and then you take it all, and I guess maybe there's not a whole bunch of people that think that way, but to me, I think that way, and wow, look at what this motherfucker had to go through. for what? And then
Right.
people, how could someone be desensitized to that? Because what, even if it was not you, what if it was somebody, what if it was one of your loved ones? So how are these people going to sit back and talk about looting and shit when someone's son, and not just him, not just, George Floyd, but I'm talking about all this shit that's going on. Like, how do you just turn a blind eye to that and act like, okay, looting's the only thing anybody cares about? These are people that are singling out that shit, but forgetting about the point that people are getting murdered by cops and nothing is being done about it.
Well, they're absolutely desensitized. They
Yeah.
don't feel anything, and that's part of the reason why back in the day people were against certain cartoons, because they thought cartoons were violent. Well, we don't even use cartoons to depict violence anymore. We record. There's IGs would trip
Yeah.
me out about school. There's Instagrams specifically for fights at school.
Fights, yeah, all that, or like stuff like where people pick pick on like homeless people or stuff like that, or and the people actually like to watch stuff like that, like and I just don't get it yet. And maybe it is, I think it, maybe I'm old, but I think social media does have a lot to do with it. But like you said, though, it goes back to where they could say that it was video games, they could say what it is, but for the most part you should be able to like kind of be able to tell the difference between reality and just trying to get like somebody a little laugh out of somebody or whatever it is.
And besides that, like, yes, you should be able to decipher the two, hopefully. And that, fuck, man. And see, that's the thing I pray for, too. I just hope the kids, because I say kids, I have stepsons, too. And the thing is I just hope I hope I teach them right, because I don't want them to be like that. I don't want them to be desensitized and all that. But what I was going to get at again is back to the social media, is then it also has a positive role in what's going on now, because like Dani said earlier, see, social media could either pollute you. It depends how you take it and who's watching, who's the consumer. But like the thing is, social media has done is it's provided a platform for people to see what's really going on, right?
I'm going to interject with that though, because I'm paying attention to the chat for one, and I have a ton of videos that I
we
time
gotta
my
play
videos.
some videos. Yeah.
Are we gonna get into a video? But before we do, let me bring this up while Shay's queuing that up.
Okay.
So this isn't something new. Let's talk about the Roman Empire and people having to fight lions and things like that. And now, what do we pay our athletes? What do they receive? What do you think that entertainment is for? What is the purpose of providing those type of entertainment and paying those athletes so much money? It is a distraction so that we are not aware of the underlying issues that are taking place, because we are in a sense of allurement with this fantasy world that has been put in front of our eyes. And meanwhile, the puppet master, with the one holding all the strings, is making all these moves with this hand while we're over here looking at this hand.
But here's what's crazy is they even took away that. They even took away that distraction, but then brought another distraction, and then here's another one. So like, that's the shit that's weird. It's like crazy right now. I've never seen that many motherfuckers, like,
Even
people
during
that know.
the COVID thing that was going on, they were still doing the draft.
Thank you.
People still got their checks.
Yeah.
They still signed up and joined their teams.
Mm-hmm.
So why
Yep.
did they keep doing that?
Yep. Trust. That's what I'm saying. I feel like we're in a movie too. This shit is mad weird. But
As I explained in my comments when people were getting active on my social media, I explained this COVID thing, certificate of vaccination identification, was a soft introduction, just like a soft grand opening to martial law, which has been put in place for a while. We gave that right up when we allowed the Patriot Act to pass. That was during 9/11. And that essentially removed our ability as American citizens to have our constitutional rights. We literally can be activated as a terrorist if we say anything that goes against the status quo of what our government thinks is safe to say. Safe to say. And you become a terrorist. Now you're on the watch list. Once you're activated as a terrorist, that's it. Remember that movie Eraser with Sandra Bullock?
Oh yeah.
Or there's a couple of different movies where you're erased, your identity is gone. What's another one? Enemy of the State. That was Will Smith and Gene Hackman or something like that. You know, he was living off grid, Gene Hackman, and Will Smith got activated. And he didn't understand what to do because all of a sudden all these news footage things were coming up on him and all this fake news and stuff. So, you know, it's almost like they activate everybody as an agent against you. Yeah. And what do you do?
Yeah, it's the same. It's almost like how, like, you know, people just mysteriously wind up dead in prison when they were the person that could name like a bunch of names.
A whistleblower.
Exactly, like, you know, like that Epstein guy, that pervert guy. But yeah, like all of a sudden, you know, somebody had him, you know, like to make sure that he couldn't talk, basically, and you know, and
right. Isn't it interesting how the same person who conducted the Epstein, if I'm getting his name right, is supposedly the same person who conducted the autopsy for our man here, Floyd.
Right. Yep.
And which turned out to be false. And that's the kind of shit I'm talking about, though, which social media brings aware, is that stuff like that people might not get the common knowledge for. Now they can see like what's really going on, like and if you still, you know, can't see, I mean you just can't tell people much after that. But the thing is you see it, and then the family had their own autopsy done, and of course it showed asphyxiation from neck and what was it, neck and back trauma. I read the whole thing today, but yeah, trauma, basically preventing blood to flow to the brain. So yeah, good job, guys. Fucking supposed to protect us. We're paying, and this is what we get. So anyways, look, we're gonna play a video. Let's get into it now, Dani, because
let's do it. Time's flying. What are we gonna watch?
Yeah, which one you want to play, Shay?
I got this new Ends Blow Up. Ends got a new video.
Okay, we're gonna play the new Ends one right now, and then we'll come back. Me and Dani got more stuff to say. If Zeps ain't in the next few minutes, me and Dani got more stuff to say. It don't matter.
Oh yeah, man. Let's carry this show, baby.
Oh man, I you see how I like we have plenty to talk about, Dani. So that's all that matters. Like I'm not gonna, you know. Let me get to what I have to say after this video. Fuck that. All right, let's go.
Do it.
B-side show.
Okay,
Rabbit, Dani Killafournya Shaye Whitey. Let's go.
Dwayne's World.
Starter pack. A signal to begin. Set out on a journey or mission.
Every door closed. They ain't see what I seen in me. Knew nothing in life is free. I keep searching real deep in the cold, but still my heart it froze. Long as I breathe, I'ma live these dreams, I'ma pay these dues. I don't need receipts, and my roots run deep all down these streets. I'ma explode. Blow up, blow up, blow up, blow up, blow up, blow up. I might just have to blow up, blow up, blow up, blow up, blow up, blow up, blow up. I might just have to blow up. Ever been so lost inside the belly of the beast? You become so hungry, taught yourself to eat. They don't want you to be you, they don't want me to be me. I'm their nightmare, guess I'm working in my sleep for being humble. Where's my feet? Feel real numb now, everything I've been through can't feel a thing. I don't recommend this journey without having thick skin. This that I need the respect and then the bread to be rich. This that legends never got it, greatest gift is to live. Every door closed. They ain't see what I seen in me. Knew nothing in life is free. I keep searching real deep in the cold, but still my heart it froze. Long as I breathe, I'ma live these dreams, I'ma pay these dues. I don't need receipts, and my roots run deep all down these streets. I'ma explode. Blow up, blow up, blow up, blow up, blow up, blow up. I might just have to blow up, blow up, blow up, blow up, blow up, blow up, blow up. I might just have to been on this since the beginning. Wanna judge the way I'm living. All this fire made me distant. Sacrifices got me winning. Had no studio, all about who you know. That I had voodoo, bro. Bad luck, it made me act up. I had an address letting y'all slide for too long. Oh, I heard you sign. Who the fuck put you on? 7-1 for ride. Don't need to say too much, cause if you know you got it, you ain't gotta flex it too tough. Every door closed. They ain't see what I seen in me. Knew nothing in life is free. I keep searching real deep in the cold, but still my heart it froze. Long as I breathe, I'ma live these dreams, I'ma pay these dues. I don't need receipts, and my roots run deep all down these streets. I'ma explode, blow up.
Starter pack.
Too raw.
My niggas slide for no reason. Niggas slide cause you have to. You want smoke, we a match. My killers to get at you. We go nuts, we go cash you. Nigga freeze like a statue. Nigga stop playing. I want the body in the back too. Turn a nigga to a tattoo. Nigga better get it on. We outside with the semi on. I'm with them niggas doing plenty wrong. Niggas doing plenty. Man, my niggas doing plenty. Ha. Man, my niggas doing all that.
Drakk ain't no jammer. Try and lock a jetty kiss with the slammer. Your bitch wanna get nailed on the hammer. Blew some racks just to boost up my glamour. I'm for babies, I gotta get pampered. In this biz, but I tell like a camper. Keep your word in your end like a chapter. I'm getting money, I highlight you after. Get off the middle just to run the play faster. Blood's lightning, I keep me a blaster. Fans come, then I turn to an actor. I done see more dirt than a tractor. I don't talk, I'm results factor. Niggas hate, salty as a cracker. I get green out the bait, then I pack her. Pay the plug, I don't spin, I'm a
slide for no
stacker.
reason. Niggas slide cause you have to. You want smoke, we a match. My killers to get at you. We go nuts, we go cash you. Nigga freeze like a statue. Nigga stop playing. I want the body in the back too. Turn a nigga to a tattoo. Niggas better get it on. We outside with the semi on. I'm with them niggas doing plenty wrong. Niggas doing plenty. Big C's, I'ma do it for Nipsey. My niggas grimy, filthy, gypsy. Girl, you lying, say you love me, miss me. I'm thoroughbred, I know niggas get tricky. That's why I'm on these niggas' neck like a hickey. Kirk Franklin, bitch, tell me is you with me? I don't give no F less it's Fendi. And I smoke a nigga quick like a hippie. Get rich or die trying like I'm 50. I done been to Australia, Sydney. I'm charged up, D12 nigga in me. I be with Mello, D3 and Remy. You know that shotty in my pants while I'm limping. It ain't a bitch who feel my hands unless I'm pimping. I'm flipping birds like a motherfucking gymnast. I learned from Eric and Don. Niggas slide for no reason. Niggas slide cause you have to. You want smoke, we a match. My killers to get at you. We go nuts, we go cash you. Nigga freeze like a statue. Nigga stop playing. I want the body in the back too. Turn a nigga to a tattoo. Nigga better get it on. We outside with the city on. I'm with them niggas doing plenty wrong. Niggas doing plenty. All my niggas doing plenty. And my niggas come and get him gone. It's on the set, nigga. Cinco Block. Indian, what's happening, my nigga? You already know we really out here cracking this 5th Street, nigga. 23rd Street, the worst street, but that's my birth street, nigga. It's on the set, them niggas hate this.
What up? B-side
back,
show.
y'all.
Act like
Act
you
like
know.
you know.
Every single Monday. You know, things have been hard lately, but we're still going. Me and Dani Dani Killafournya, Sister D to me, and we're
That's
just
That's right. With the brothers B in the building.
Yeah.
We're talking about current events here. We're talking about the situation and the climate of
the shit that's
our
going on.
nation, our world, our globe, our consciousness.
Yeah. Hey, I just wanted to say real quick before we get back into it, just a quick commercial. You know, like, you know, this is, you know, as long as everything, you know, kind of calms down a little bit. But, you know, right now, as it is right now, scheduled for June 20th, Radiotron is going down as a live streaming event. You know, normally when they do the anniversary, they do, you know, where everybody could show up. But this year it's going to be a live streaming event. It's actually streaming on the B-side channel. So we're involved with that. We're going to be streaming it. It's going to be on the B-side channel on YouTube. So that's going down June 20th. That's at the Vortex. Well, I mean, I guess the venue doesn't matter because it's not really, you know, for everybody to show up. It's to watch
Mark
live.
your calendars.
But yeah, just watch. You could watch,
And
you know, online performances, you know,
we'll
poppers,
be in the
all that.
building. And
Yep.
the thing is, if Dani, if you're able, you come as well.
You already know, baby.
But we'll be there. We'll be hosting. We'll be filming it and everything like that. And hopefully we can have a good event without getting fucking rubber bullets to the
Yeah,
dome or
and it's
something.
like the new thing now, you know, like who knows, you know, how long it's going to be until like live events where people can show up to go to. But for now, this is the way it's going, like, you know, virtual events, you know, but we're going to, you know, and we're there, we'll be streaming, you know, whatever it is, you know, we
Well,
got
we're
it. So,
press, y'all. We're journalists, so
we
we'll
got it.
have our credentials and our paperwork in order, and
Yeah, we
everything
gotta
will
do
be
our
fine. You
shit.
don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Murder Mommy's gonna take care of y'all, so we gonna be
Hey,
all right. Quick
that-
shout out though to my boy Aaron. He just popped into our chat here, so that's my Vinyl Monkeys brother, and we did our podcast on Sundays. I can't wait to have the Vinyl Monkeys come and do a B-side show Vinyl Monkeys collab again. That's gonna be
Oh,
wonderful.
yeah, that was fun last time. That's right.
yes.
Yeah, so we definitely got to do that. I want to co-host that, and I just wanted to say hi to him and thank him for having our back and coming to support the.
Thanks for
the
tuning
show.
in, brother. We appreciate that shit, man. And
We
we're
love
just
you, DJ Aaron.
we're just here getting some shit off our chest too, you know. And here's one of the things, like, Danny, we were talking a little bit, but me personally, I haven't been able to find the words that I want to say to people that know me, and kind of post it out there so they know what you know, where I'm at. And it's because, you know, I've been angry as well, and that's the thing. I'm older now, and I have to figure out a way to still remain in, like, a, you know, I guess like a leadership role. And I wanted to say that is I hope throughout all this we're gonna see some more leaders emerge, and some people that hopefully the youth can look up to, that are on some positive stuff, but still keeping them awake and on knowing what's going on. Because a lot of the times, you know, I'm just going back real quick to, we were talking about the LA riots, and yes, like me and my boys, we were, I forgot what stop at the I can't remember. I'm gonna have to ask the homies, but something prevented us. We were about to make our mission out there. The homie had a truck, and you know what, things,
Your angels saved you guys.
something happened. But the point being is that maybe if there's more leadership in place, to where we maybe the youth kind of is already knowing that this shit is all a plot, and that, you know, looting is definitely not the answer, especially taking from small businesses, of course. But I just feel like there needs to be more leadership in place, and, you know, people have talked about it, and so that then I start to feel guilty, like, why am I not doing it? And that's my thing that I'm getting to next, is I will take more of a role. I'm not going to do it till I educate myself more, because I'm going to go out there with guns blazing. I ain't talking about a real one. I'm talking about just the knowledge, and just to drop on, because the youth needs to understand what's really going on, and just be kind of a little more aware of the situation that's really happening, I guess.
And I just want to say real
here's
quick,
the
too.
thing: we
Oh, go
had
for it.
those people in place. Oh, sorry, Shay. We had those organizations in place. You know, when Women, Infant, and Children is a WIC program that the government took over, but the Black Panthers started WIC, and they took it amongst themselves to do that. The Black Panthers was an original organization that policed the community and kept their citizens safe. Brown Berets are close to my heart. That's my family. And this is real talk. You can look it up. My cousins, you know, robbed an army cache of all the weapons for a full-on revolution. That's what the Brown Berets do. They're ready, and they're at arms and ready to back up our agenda, which is the fact that everyone's living on stolen land. We are the indigenous rightful inhabitants of this continent, and if we aren't going to be acknowledged, and people aren't going to recognize that they looted and took all of the gold from our homes and our, you know, shrines and our artifacts, and that's the stuff that's sitting in museums now, and that's what Mexico City is built on top of. If we're not going to acknowledge that, then how do you expect us to acknowledge that your Target got looted? We don't care.
That's I guess my thing is, you're right about that, and no way would I discredit them. I'm just saying, for me personally, where I grew up in my area, see, we didn't have that. influence was not immediately here where I grew up, and
It was Mecha though. You were in
that's all
high
I'm
school. I'm
saying.
pretty sure there was like a Mecha program or something in high school. You know what I mean?
I'm pretty sure there was, but it didn't reach me, and that's all I'm saying. That's my point. Is that we need to have more people that's gonna reach the maybe I'm a common foe. I don't know what it is, but I was involved in hip hop, so maybe it need to be more people that were in hip hop that were talking that little message, and and I know there was. Don't get me wrong, Danny. I know there was, but my point is it never reached me, and I'm saying I'm someone that's reachable, so I would like it to be more.
Wow, I hear that.
I would like it to be more maybe, and that's what I'm saying is that I can't just say that.
That makes sense. You're like, you were available, you were ready,
yes.
And no one reached out to you and said, hey,
yes.
Come here, let me show you why you should be proud of your culture. Let me show you how you can get involved.
Yes.
Come over here. This is what Aztec dancing looks like. This is Flocorico dancing. These are the programs. So maybe we need to work on that more then, and definitely take an approach towards figuring out how to connect all these dots together. I know that we have a ton of people. We have the Unity Project. We have the radio station where I work at, KQBH. We provide, the students Akai drum machines where they can learn how to make beats. We show them how to do radio broadcasting and production. That takes place in Boyle Heights. So maybe we need to find a way to put together a directory so that everybody who's putting their time and energy into these kind of programs, there's a way that everyone can tap into it. One thing I really love, I'm just going to say this one last thing, I'm going to give the floor because I know I'm long-winded, but one thing I really love about Abstract Rude, him and I have worked together since the early or the mid 90s, and I built his website back in 1999 when I was, developing websites and doing videography and things like that. And I put a message board on his website, and this is before MySpace, so I'm definitely aging myself here, but this was before MySpace, and I put a message board on there, and he always gives it up to me. He's like, you know what, Danny, my website was the go-to place. abrude.net is where everybody went to when they wanted to find out what was going on. That was a live message board that no one had. It didn't exist because I'm a geek like that. So I wanted everybody to have a place where they could post their flyers, similar to when we would go to a map point and drop a flyer off there with the location. So maybe we need to do that, guys. Maybe B-side needs to be that.
We definitely, we got the website, we got the platform, and that's for sure. Like, and I just wanted to interject real quick about what I feel like, what we need today is just for like people like even from our age and all the way down is like to realize what really makes this country is not really about the politicians, all that. It's about the citizens, it's about us, it's about the people, and it doesn't matter what color we are. Like all of us have gone through the same thing, especially from the neighborhoods that we come from. Like me and my brother grew up in, we were around all different colors, whatever it is. There might have been a dominant one, whatever, but they were all in the same situation, the same struggle. They didn't come from a lot of money. They didn't have a lot of means for, even a ride to school. Like we walked with all the kids that didn't have a ride to school. They had to walk at like 6-7 years old to school. And you can't even do that nowadays, but just to recognize that's the people that make it, and that we should just, kind of stick together and realize it's not about, like color versus color or any of that. It's just about like basically decency versus not decency. And too many people are caught up in the whole Republican versus Democrat. And like sometimes just think about like the other side just for 1 second. It doesn't matter, like, because that's what they have us brainwashed into thinking you're either Republican, either Democrat. So it doesn't matter what this guy says. You're just going to try to agree with it, try to defend it no matter what. And
no matter if
to get away from.
No matter if you grew up knowing that's morally wrong or not. Like the shit that's going on is crazy. And and to go along with what my brother said is like we grew up with the, rest in peace to my dad. He was always still cool with us, but my dad didn't raise us. And I'll be honest, like my mom raised us, and we grew up because we had to, a single mom at the time raising 2 boys. We have another brother too, but we moved from house to house so many times. So we that's why we are the way we are. We learned to, like, we understand every struggle. Like we've been neighbors with every nationality, like literally, like we've fucking kicked it. Like our parents babysat each other's kids of different nationalities and shit. And that's the thing is we understand that, and I don't know that that's the only reason. I would like to think that we're just decent human beings, but I hope that everybody would just get to the point and understand what's wrong is wrong. Bunch of black people are being killed over and over and over again, and it's happening to brown people too. Yes, it is. But here's the thing, man, it's the statistics are out. You're seeing this shit straight out in front of your face, social media and whatever, and you can't turn your back to that no more. And shout out to every race, especially at this point, the white race, like the ones that are speaking out on it and having back.
Yes, it's brave. That takes freaking balls, videos, man. That's some scary shit.
Yes, I've seen videos of even like, I just saw one today. A white teenage girl protected a young black man when he was protecting peacefully, but they tried to raid in on him and she got in between. And I just thought that was so powerful right there. I would hope we could see more of that.
Yeah, and the fact that they were also,
absolutely,
they were marching together, or how about, even like I saw like the Polynesians, they got together and did their haka dance for, like, showing their support for the black people that were struggling, or just the and even just the regular white citizens. Sometimes people look at them and like, oh, they look like regular law-abiding citizens, but some of them actually went out and like that were there for the right cause. Like that I saw from some of the things. And I know that what there is, like I seen some stuff about, like there's some kind of they're sending in these little militia groups, probably like anarchists and stuff, that are doing some of the stuff, causing more chaos. But those are the things that they're gonna just keep showing, because just to make it look worse than what's going on. Like if we could look at some of the peaceful protests that are going on and people of all different colors uniting like that, I mean, that would go a long way. But and if our president would help,
excellent point,
spread
Shay.
that out, like that would help too.
Yeah, and I don't.
No, he's under control, just like Obama was under control. We can't expect our president to do. POTUS can't do anything. They want to. I believe they seriously have the initiative at the beginning when they run to make change, and then they get the orientation of what they really are, and they realize that they're just a puppet, and they're very limited in their ability to actually make changes. And that's why it's our duty. We need to vote, like Razkaz is always saying, get your ass out there and vote. If you didn't vote, fuck you. I don't want to hear shit from you. And he's on point with that, because we do need to vote. Voting is coming up.
I hear you on that.
I'm gonna go on.
I hear you on that puppet thing, but I just there's a better way to do it. This guy's reckless, and the shit that we hear every day. I mean, I can understand anybody's anger over this. He's literally disgraced almost every race. I mean, literally, and it's visual. You can see it.
Also females.
And females.
He's very misogynist.
And he's not.
But you know what? That helps us out, because he's separating himself and giving us an opportunity to express our opinion, where the other people around the world are seeing that is, he doesn't speak for us. None of us are happy with that. So they're able to see that we are not on the same page with our POTUS. And I think that's important, because that shows that we're not in charge of the decisions that are being made. I like what you brought up. I took a screenshot of us and I put it on my social media, and I said, tap in, we're talking civic duty, black and brown movement, unity of the one race, the human race. And I think that that's really important. I love that you brought that up. I know you have a poem that you want to read, and I'm just going to give a brief little intro before you read that poem, and I want to bring it back to you so you can share that with us. But part of the reason why I give so much insight into the good things that humanity is doing right now is because during this whole COVID crisis, while I was on the air, I had to do community updates, and I was listening to the community updates of our radio station every single night, and it was depressing me and making me very pessimistic about the outcome of the situation, because people were reporting what the journalists were reporting. And we don't need to hear that. That is a false narrative that is being fed to us, because if you're lazy and you're not an information seeker, you allow people to give you the information, then you are just eating whatever is being given to you.
Sheep,
so
right?
What I chose to do...
I'm sorry.
Yeah, absolutely.
I had to say it. I'm sorry. I had to say it.
100. Yeah. Sheeple. Like a motherfucker. And people are just lazy. The same thing with music. They want us to show them the good music. They're not out looking for music. So they have the nerve to say that ain't no more real hip hop out there. There is a ton of real hip hop out there. Guess what? You ain't
Fuck yeah.
looking for it because you're not a digger and you ain't really truly about it.
Yep.
You want to listen to the radio and you think you're going to hear real hip hop there. Well, guess what? Real hip hop ain't never been on the radio. And if you were really about it, you would know that.
And it's
So
been
my
on.
point,
Oh, just say it real quick. It's been on the B-side show for 10 years. You should like know by now. Like we've been trying to show that almost 10
that's
years.
right,
You know?
baby. And you know that's why I fuck with you
Shout-
guys. That's why I'm here right now.
Shout out to all the independent artists out there that fuck with us. I know they're jumping on these other people's bandwagon right now, but we still here and we're gonna come hard as soon as we could get back to business. But we're still here. Let's go, Danny.
Yeah, absolutely. What's up?
Danny? I wanted to say that, like, this is something maybe I think I might have told you before, but thank you. It was like a working out. Excuse me, a working out process in the beginning, because at first you were representing an artist. I really didn't know, and this is crazy. I'm gonna tell this story right now, but I'm just so glad that you're part of our show now because of what you bring, not only as credibility, but just insight on things that maybe people just don't see, and maybe you could bring it to them. And then again, and like you touched on earlier, just being all that that positivity, because people need it really a lot sometimes, and you bring that. So thank you for being part of our platform as well. I just want to say that real quick.
I appreciate you guys for trusting me. I mean, you didn't just invite me to host. You invited me to host, and when I said, I want to curate, I want my own segment, y'all didn't even blink an eye.
Yeah.
You're like, you got it. Sure. Okay. And you were on board, and you have trusted me from the very beginning. And that blind faith is why I give my allegiance to you guys, and I bring it 100, because I need people like that to believe in me and to trust me that I am going to bring the best foot forward. I'm going to bring the best content. I'm always going to be a person of integrity, and I'm going to continue to be consistent for our culture. Now I'm going to circle back really quick because I want to hear your poem. But one of the things that I didn't like about the community updates on my radio station is that they made me fucking sad. And I don't need to feel sad. I need my immune system to not be compromised, and fear compromises your immune system. So during my community updates, I would share who's hiring in the community, what local people are changing what they usually manufacture to suit the needs of our current situation. I started highlighting open businesses, people delivering food, shouting out artists that are making current music and things like that. And that's what I did for my community updates. And it really empowered me to continue to find the silver lining, because that's how I've survived. I'm a survivor of domestic violence. I'm a survivor. I'm a single mother. I'm a survivor of being a minority. I'm a survivor of being a woman in a male-driven industry.
Yep.
And in order to get through all of that stuff, I always needed to realize that every single hardship, and I talk about this on most of my shows with you guys, I talk about tower moments. Tower moments are situations when it looks like everything is falling apart around you and you can't understand why the floor is being pulled out from underneath you. And the reason why that happens is because your foundation is not built on solid ground. And when that happens, it's because the universe threw a pebble and it poked you in your eye and you just wiped it away. Then it threw a boulder and you dodged it. Holy shit, that hit my car. Oh, well. Then, a landslide came down and you're like, oh, okay, maybe I should pay attention, but you still aren't quite making changes yet. Then your whole house burns down and you're like, oh, now you don't have a choice. Now it's time to figure out, well, where did I go wrong? How was I negligent? And how do I, overcome this situation? Those tower moments happen in everyday life. It's a really bad breakup, getting fired from a job, maybe having some sort of a gambling habit where you lose everything, becoming homeless. There's all these situations that happen, and the reason why they happen is so we can grow as people. And now our whole entire globe is having a tower moment, and it seems like the end of the Mayan calendar. But what is an end? The end of one chapter is the beginning of another one, and I'm excited.
Yes,
you're right about that.
I was just gonna say that. Let's stay positive and embrace the real, and
that's all I've ever tried to do. And
our family.
Real quick, I just to go along with your point too, is like that. You're right, because this is like probably, I always try to stay positive no matter what. I've been through a lot of shit too, like stressful times, situations. but it just seems like a lot of stuff is happening at once right now. Like a lot of, but what the reason we have to stay positive now is like we're older now. Like we're actually the older generation. So, you know, I just want to be an example for like, you know, my nieces and nephews and anybody that might be, you know, like actually like cares about what I have to say. Like I just want to be positive for them, you know.
And that's it. Again, what I was going back to with leadership. I think we all need to take a little more initiative, and that's kind of what I was getting to a little bit earlier. Is it's not that they're not out there, but they're not in my face enough. And like so what I want to do is like the people that I know, like let me push this shit in their face. So that's what I'm saying. Is like I'm gonna be accountable, and I want to be a little more responsible coming forward, and I'm gonna start making sure that I'm leading not only my own kids and family in the right direction, but all the youth that I can affect. Because, like they say, it takes a village, you know, to raise a child, and we're gonna keep that pushing.
Yes, it's very important. And you know, we got tapped on our shoulder by Public Enemy. We got yelled at in our face by Tupac. I mean, people have been
Immortal
doing
Technique,
this, but guess what?
and Immortal Technique.
We can go on
Dead
and
President.
on. Raz, Dead Prez. I mean, it's on and on.
Yeah.
What up, Razzie?
Yeah.
Man, all his songs are just literally like, he's literally getting to repost another song like every other day.
Like, education.
He's telling your ass.
What's crazy is you could still listen to Nature of the Threat right now, and you'll go, wait, did he record this yesterday? No. He recorded this fucking that shit was a long time ago, and this shit's the real shit still happening, man.
To be honest, Razkaz songs and albums should be like curriculum in schools. To be honest,
yeah.
It really should. You know what? I tell him he's gonna be the new Gospel of John. Get at me if y'all want Razkaz as a keynote speaker. If you're interested in booking him as like a feature artist, if you want to have any kind of a drop or anything, hit up your girl. You already know I've been booking Raz. It's going on 6 years now, and he's not just a client of mine. That's family. So he's a stand-up guy. That's right, man. One of the hardest working guys in our industry. You know,
he's always kept it real with us. Like we literally left a show one time and just bounced. We were having a few drinks, smoking, and we just walk straight out of the studio from a show and just walk straight to the show that's right down the street. They were throwing something at Katie Jake's. We literally walked up the street with the homie Razkaz down straight to the show and just walked in like a motherfucker. But
all these hip hop heads are, you know, they're a little buzzed by this time. They're looking up going, wait, what the fuck is that? Razkaz just walked in the door. Like, what's going on here? Like, wait, hold on.
We just walk in. Nah, that's one of the homies right there. That's my brother.
That's one of the few homies, one of the few artists that has absolute respect on the East Coast. That's a West Coast artist.
Oh, hell yeah. All day.
I love that. That takes a lot, y'all. East Coast, though, they're not a very, you know what I'm saying? They don't embrace West Coast music in very many ways. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
so the fact that Raz can like run up to a Wu-Tang Clan show and be like, I want to perform, and they're like, here, they give him the mic. You know what I'm saying?
And
he can do that to Talib Kweli. He can do it to KRS-One. He can do it to Big Daddy Kane. I mean, that, bro, he put us on the map.
Well, and working with legends like Primo and shit like that, man.
Or even Dre. That song.
Yeah, real shit. Hey, you know what? One of the things that what I did want to, it wasn't so much a poem. I just wanted to read something that the homie wrote. And if you guys want to know who it is, I'll just, like, you hit me up, because I don't need nobody. If any motherfucking haters are on here, don't be going to my homie's page. But I just haven't been able to find proper words, and I just felt like the homie, man, he's an intellectual dude anyways. This fool's an artist and everything, but I just wanted to read something real quick, if that's okay, and then, you know, whatever you have to say after that, Danny, and then, you know, we got time, whatever you want to do. But here's the thing, it's Black Lives Matter, and he says, I've heard so much BS about why do only Black lives matter. All lives matter. Missing the entire point. If all lives matter to you, then Black lives should matter to you. White people don't have to worry about being treated unequally. All Black Lives Matter means is treat us equally, treat us fairly, don't kill us. basic human rights. That's it. They don't want privilege over others. They just want equality. Why would anybody be against that unless they don't see black people as equal human beings? No, we shouldn't be happy about rioting, but why is the focus on the rioting itself? Why is the focus on the buildings and property? The focus should be on what conditions caused the rioting. The focus should be on people's lives and injustice. Blaming people for rioting is like blaming a victim of abuse for lashing out against their abuser. Yes, there are also people taking advantage of the chaos and looting, but there are so many more people peacefully protesting and trying to be heard to get justice. So many more people are standing together, seeking change, seeking dignity. All are being vilified. Peaceful protesters are being gassed, beaten, and oppressed. Ask yourself, do you think the 4 officers would have been fired, let alone prosecuted, if there was no video? Even with an uprising across the country, actually across the globe now, they resist doing what's right. They would rather brutalize thousands of people than arrest and charge the 4 officers responsible. They can't even give an honest autopsy. That's why black people are angry. That's why they are sick and tired. Everyone should be sick and tired. And Black Lives Matter. Shout out to the homie. Fuck yeah.
Yep. Amen. That's
This
right.
motherfucker said
That's
what
right.
I wanted to say. Like, you know, real talk.
That's beautiful. And you know what? I just saw a post in France, Italy, somewhere in Europe, and it was the same exact thing. It was an officer with his knee on a black man who's on the floor, who's protesting peacefully. That speaks loads to me regarding what the opposition, and when I say the opposition, that's no race. The opposition is anybody who doesn't have regard for human decency and mankind in general, women, children, and all of our brothers and sisters.
All the oppressed.
How in the hell are we seeing 2 photos from 2 different countries that look exactly the same? Someone that is put in place to protect and serve, standing on the neck of another man who's peacefully doing something. You know, he wasn't robbing. Nobody was doing anything bad. Whether that $20 bill was fake or not, what's the underlying cause of an overweight person who needs insulin? They're overweight. They eat bad shit. That's why they need the insulin. So if somebody's using a fake $20 bill, why are they doing that to buy food? Why? Because we don't get paid what we're supposed to get paid. There is a huge amount of money. There's enough to go around for everybody. But 1% of the population controls 98% of the money. That's why it is the way it is. The way our fiscal system is set up, we can never pay the taxes back because the interest that is imposed on the money that's being printed, that's being given to us, is interest dollar amounts that don't exist. They're not in our currency. So we will never ever be able to pay back the perpetual debt that we owe because the money doesn't exist to pay it back.
And meanwhile,
It's a fucking rat race.
we go to work every day, and then our money goes to funding things that we don't even want it to fund, and then we can barely, you know, have
Police misconduct lawsuits.
And then we can barely, yes, the lawsuits, and then we can barely, you know, have a place to support our family. That's the way the shit got us locked in the system, man. Shit's fucked up.
And I actually felt like, you know, if finally
It's a plan.
and our money, all this money that we went to finally went to something even remotely helpful, which was the whole stimulus thing. But then, you know, our supposed leader tried to act like he was doing it out of the generosity of his own pockets. But we've paid for that for years. We probably paid for that $1,200 for like the last 20 years that I've been working. That's what I paid for to get, you know, like
what you're bringing up right now
He
is
made it
really
seem
crazy.
like it was a
I
gift.
was listening
Fucking
to something
weirdo,
today. Yeah, oh, let me print out some more money. You and your grandchildren can pay back. Here you go. Oh, Poppy Trump, thank you. I was reading something
That orange
today,
dude
and
is
it was
weird.
a woman, and she's an accountant. She does numbers, and she was saying that it was nearly it's a straight up agenda. They cannot pay the Social Security that each of the baby boomers are going to be entitled to at the point where they cash in on their Social Security checks. And they are going to not be able to fund the programs that are currently in place right now. And the only solution numerically from a mathematical standpoint is to decrease life expectancy. How were they doing that? Poor nutrition, all those liquor stores and the 99-cent store. There was a time when I survived off of the 99-cent store. So I understand that struggle. People can't afford to eat organic. There was a time when I only ate breakfast from Carl's Jr. for $2.99. And that was my meal for the fucking day, bro,
Yep.
because I was paying a mortgage by myself. And that's what I
99-cent
ate.
tacos.
Yeah, we live off that, not because we want to. It's not because we're not cultured. It's because that's what's in our budget. And this is a systematic approach, just like the trickle-down theory, which you can look up. That's in the Reagan administration, trickle-down theory. Now, I don't want to get too crazy because I get geeked out. I'm a very politically active, a very motivated person. I have a lineage of revolutionary people dating all the way back to the Spanish conquest. So I have to be very focused or I get way out on a tangent. But this woman, what she was saying is that mathematically they need to make people die, because if they don't, our whole entire economic system will collapse. And Bill Gates knows that. That's what the vaccine is about.
Oh, that guy. That's a whole other shit right there. We got a whole bunch of... Like, here's the thing. This is what I can say, because we're almost time to sign off, and we've had a good show. And to be honest, like, you know what? Going forward, like, I'll just say it right here. We have the crew where we could run a show no matter what goes on. So we're gonna keep doing it. You know, hopefully guests can come back to coming around and all that stuff. But we're gonna do our thing no matter what, and that's regardless. But again, getting back to it, man, I would just encourage everybody watching, young, old, whatever you are, because I'm older and I'm starting to do, like, just do your research, man. There's internet provided. Don't just believe everything you see on the internet, on social media. Please, people, do your research. Go back, check history, and it'll show you the facts if you go back through history, like Dani was saying. But please just do your research. I'm just asking everybody, please be as educated as you can going forward. I think that's the main key. If everybody really knows what's going on, maybe, you know, hopefully things will start to change really soon.
And to add to that too is also, you know, you should be able to recognize, you know, if you see something on social media, check different sources on it, you know, because, you know, there's Photoshop now. People are posting their own facts. They're just inserting whatever they want. You got to know that, like, it's just too easy to do that now. Like, okay, if you see something somewhere, go check another source. Let me see if this is true. How many sources are reporting this same number, you know? It's just, you know, sometimes it's just common sense. You know, you can't just, the first thing, just because it's your friend, because your cousin, because, you know, your aunt or uncle, whatever it is, you know, they might just have their, you know, their own beliefs or whatever.
In other
check
words,
it first.
I think
it.
he's saying, like, we got back to, don't be a sheep, man. People, please don't be sheep. Let's go, man. Let's be leaders, and hopefully, like, again, I'm taking responsibility myself, and I hope to be more of an influence on the youth. I know I've been pretty good so far. I've done a lot of things but like, I hope that I could be more of a leader role soon coming forward, and I'm pretty sure I'll do it, because that's what I want to do. So
That's
you,
beautiful.
Dan.
Shay, that was really good advice. It really was. In college, that's something that I learned, was to evaluate the source of the information that you're receiving. And I think a lot of us don't do that. We just take for granted the fact that it's coming from the news, or it's coming from a location like, you know, freaking the Shade Room or something like that. So we assume that they did their fact checking before they put it out. But the thing is that people just want to be the first person to put something out now. Yep. That's called a red herring. Mm-hmm. It's an attempt to redirect an argument to another issue. And what it is it's like the same thing I was talking about, the magician. It's happening right now. We're scheduled to vote in like 7 more days. How many people do you think are paying attention to voting right now? They're not. Voting is taking place down here. Everybody's looking at what's going on up here. Their focus is here, and this is where the legislation is passing. It's passing under your nose, y'all.
Right, exactly.
And
All
It's
this shit.
important.
And the other thing, you're like, just to go along with that point, okay, everybody's focused on the vote for the president or the, maybe even the senators. But if you ever look at your voting ballot thing, there's a lot of other things that are being voted on, right? There's judges, there's sheriffs, all that. Like, maybe we should, like, before you just blindly vote because this guy's your same political party as you, go check his history. Like, go check, like, this sheriff might have a history of, not turning the other way when somebody's being brutalized in the city. Like, we should check
Yeah,
on
we
that
need to
too.
know that.
The sheriffs, the judges, the attorneys, all that. Like, we should know, like, what their motives are, if they're, what they're there for, like that too. And you know what? I'm guilty of that. I've seen people on there, and most of the time now I just skip it. Okay, I don't know these people. I don't know, so I'm not gonna vote.
Well,
But
you
we should
just
do
pick
that.
like
Yeah,
multiple
don't just
choice.
blindly
You're like,
vote.
oh shit, I'm here, right?
Yeah,
You're
right,
ready to vote for
exactly.
your candidate.
Yep.
And then there's 32 other
Yeah.
things on the ballot, and you're like,
Yeah.
this one sounds good. I recognize that name. That's my teacher's last name. Okay.
Yeah,
You know
check-
what I'm saying?
exactly,
Like, we
exactly.
just pick whatever we want to pick.
or you say,
really quick,
this
I just
guy's-
want to say, because I'm
yeah.
in the chat, y'all.
Yeah.
So Mr. Magic said that research the research. So yes, Mr. Magic, thank you so much for that valid point. And shout out to Tommy Curdy. I'm just saying hi to everybody in the chat because
That's right,
they're
that's what's
showing
up.
their support for
Thank
the
you,
What
Big
guys.
up,
Side, and
homies?
I'm thankful to them for coming through. So thanks, guys.
I shout out to all my people that could have, like, whether you don't like us or not, have some constructive criticism. Don't just be talking some ignorant shit.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
I respect everybody for that.
Thank you guys for
no
tuning
matter
in with
what
us.
you got to say. But thanks for everybody that tuned in, and you know what? Next week, like, the thing is, we got some certain guests. It's just the temperature of the situation that's going on right now. I guess we chose as B-side to kind of, especially the pandemic and everything.
Now the curfew.
Everybody just kept, doing their thing. We just, because we do have people in the studio and a group that works with us, we just decided to be as responsible as we can be, because we're ultimately responsible for what happens at our studio. So that being said, today we even went and took out all our, equipment from the studio, and because we were here, there was some things going on in the area where our studio is, and we decided to do that. And to be honest, again, we took it that what's real is real. Things can be replaced. We took what we needed to keep the show going. I ain't gonna lie. But other than that, do what you gotta do, man. I don't give a shit. Like, we know the real cause here, and things can be replaced.
Rabbit, that's nice of you.
But
You're a nice guy.
Things can be
You're a
replaced,
nice guy.
but lives cannot. And I'm not saying it like I'm just gonna let people run up. I don't mean that either. I don't want to get to that. But nobody's gonna run up in my spot and take my shit, especially when I'm right there. But what I am saying is that we took what we needed to do the show, and if it happened, it happened. But lives are worth more than material things, and that's real with me.
They are, and I'm going to say that I agree with you to an extent, but here's the thing. You cannot act like you're standing ground for somebody's life who was taken if you're busy fulfilling your material needs and your tangible wants, okay? That is not the same thing as walking to a city hall. I walked fucking 2 miles to that city hall and to that police department with my daughter on my shoulders, bro. I don't want to hear it, okay? If you are truly about the movement, you make moves. If you are selfish and ego-driven and you just want that Fendi purse or the Fendi makeup or the fucking
Right.
Louis Vuitton, whatever the hell that shit is, then you're a part of the problem. And I'm not okay with that. That is not what this is about. And we are not going to tear down our local mom and pop shops and things like that. A corporation can recover. They pay their quarterly taxes with no problem. A small shop like that of immigrants doing brow threading, doing nails, doing the B-side shop, those are independent artists who put their products in the B-side shop. They spent their own money on that. I'm not cool with that. And you know what? We need to stand up. I'm loving this. Shout out to the Wire Entertainment. Those tattoo artists stood outside of that shop and prepared and kept that woman safe of her location.
Hey, but
we're trying to loot there.
But just for the record, I don't want it to come off as I ain't protecting my shit. But here's the real deal: all the people that basically pay for our studio were actually at our at regular jobs today. Shout out to our brother DJ Eclipse. He was able to go get some of our stuff, but we didn't have the means. And again, this goes back to that struggle is we did not have the means to just leave like our job to go board up the fucking shop and go handle guns and shit. We just don't have it like that. So, but I'm telling you one thing, don't nobody try running up on my shit, because what I say, you'll see what happens. I'm telling you that.
And just like you said, Danny, what I like now is like what really needs to happen too more is I just seen a post, I seen like a video today, you know what, these hoods are all right, like, you know, there's the, you know, the gang, you know, the gangs from the hoods, all right?
Yes.
It's time for them
Crips
to do the
are
right
on
thing.
the deck.
Protect
They're
your
like,
hood.
yo, homie, you
Yep.
in my hood. You
Yeah,
go
yeah.
over there back to
I
your
seen
hood.
that.
Don't be standing out here. I love
Yeah,
that.
exactly. This is what they need to
love
do.
That.
If this is your hood,
Ugh.
okay, you need to patrol your hood and don't let people mess up these businesses that are mom and
Nah.
pop businesses. That's what you need to do. Like step up, like
Those
wherever you're.
millennials need to kick rocks
Yep,
and go back to
exactly.
their own little suburban town and
It's-
fucking loot their
yep.
stupid local shops.
So
and
in other words, the fools that rode on our shit that caused us problems with the city, man, go up and protect our spot now, you motherfuckers. And that's what, hey, no, that's what I'm saying, man. This shit is like, you know, we got to take it in stride, but by no means was I saying that we won't protect our shit. It's just that we had today we had to react quick. We took our shit and we didn't have no armed security or no one to fucking hold up our spot while we were all at our regular jobs trying to support our family still. So, yeah, but eventually...
And that was a very last minute thing because we
Yeah.
had a guest coming in and I literally posted his video
Yes.
on my social media and it's perfectly pertinent. He's from the Valley and he was willing to come all the way over here before the curfew got put in place.
This is exactly
so
it.
we were
This was
we
scheduled
were
to be our
ready.
first. This was scheduled to be our first show back at the B-side shoot, and this stuff went down for the last few days. Curfews put in place for LA County. That kind of messed up our plans. We were gonna have the DJ in studio live again, but hey, you know, we'll be back.
We'll be back, man. We're gonna do what we gotta do. Like, especially first, let's stay alive. Let's support our fellow human beings, and let's do the right thing, man. Because I know even the people that you want to support, but I know even those people got to see what's really going on right now. So I want to say next week we'll be back. Danny, let them know where they could get at you and all that stuff.
Yes, absolutely. Y'all tap in with me on Wednesday night, 11:59 p.m. to 2 a.m. on 101.5 FM for Vinyl Monkeys Radio. House music, EDM, drum and bass, Afro-Latino vibes. Check me out there. Thursdays, 7 to 9 p.m. for Soundtracks of the Street with my co-host, K. Pook the Mayor. We bring amazing styles. There is no father to our freaking style. We are the bastard sound of whatever you hear on the streets. So tap in for that. Fridays, Oratory Glory at 9 p.m. on 101.5 FM. All of those radio stations, if you're not in the LA area, are streaming at lpfm.la. Sundays, I have my podcast, Vinyl Monkeys, here at Casa Killafournya. Turntables are right behind me there. I bring DJs for 4 hours from 2 to 6 p.m. It's amazing. I interview them and they give you 2-hour sets, 3-hour sets, and back-to-back sets. It's good vibes and it'll reset your mood for the rest of the week. And you can always catch me on Mondays co-hosting with my brothers from the B-Side Show. Every fourth Monday is the Oracle Edition. So tap in with the Murder
Oracle
Mommy, Bad
Edition.
Day Killer, baby. You know what I'm saying? I'm bringing you all the culture and all the content. And I'm here to uplift your spirit, y'all.
Yeah, that's right.
Oracle Edition, man, bringing all the elements too.
And shout out to Katniss California, joined us
Hey,
tonight, co-hosting
kitty
tonight with
Katniss.
us.
The Dark Lord, man.
Hey.
He was around my neck like a little
Yeah, that's
shawl.
Hey, thank you. Oh, the cat over here. She's just been passed out the whole time.
She knocked out.
She must have had a rough
Must
night.
too much
chilling.
smoke in here in the studio where we're at.
I did a
Maybe,
roll
don't know.
call on our chat, so I just want to shout out everybody. Savage God XP. So I don't know if that's XP the Marksman or if it's just Savage God, but shout out to you, Savage God. Robin Razavi, he's an amazing artist. I want to say thank you to him. Tommy Curdy is a fabulous He's got an agency. He's a videographer, just a really forward-minded thinker. He tapped in. DJ Eclipse, our resident DJ, was in our chat saying what's up. I gotta say, of course, what's up to Napalm, Mr. Magic, and Tito, Aaron that's DJ Aaron 909 from the Vinyl Monkeys. That's my resident DJ on Wednesdays. All these people popped in to show support, and I just want to give them that shout out.
And shout out to Mike D. Was he in there? Mike D is always in the chat room. Maybe he wasn't here this week, but he's always here every week.
Maybe we missed
shout out
it.
to Mike D.
We try to shout that guy out. He's fucking loyal. Hey, man, shout out to all the people that do tune into our spot, man. We know what's up, man. We're going through some things right now, and maybe it's caused our momentum to slow down because some people really, obviously, like, ain't paying attention too much. So we just took a little time to appreciate, not appreciate what's going on, but just to take it in and decide what the right move was. But we'll be back, and on top of that, Rabbit Season podcast is coming real soon. We're actually going to start recording next week. And
I'm so excited for that, Rabbit. I can't wait to see what you're going to do, man.
It'll be released soon, but we just been kind of on the down low with it because I'd rather just tell them when it comes, you know what I mean? But it's here, it's coming, and we're doing it. And shout out to my brother Shaye Whitey. Yep. He's gonna produce the show and co-host with me.
And real quick, shout out also to the rest of the team that are down with us, working from home remotely, everybody that's down with us. Even we got some of our photographers out there on the front lines. We're going to be posting some of their photos soon.
Oh, yeah.
Kevin, Hooligan,
Shots Fired.
Even Yessie, World Visions. They got some
Visions.
They got photos right there.
Shooter Rick.
Shooter Rick will be joining us. So we got some stuff. And then also shout out, of course, DJ Eclipse, our partner. Our sound guy,
and our invisible man behind the freaking scenes, Drakk. We always gotta say what's up to Drakk for sure.
Hey, and of course the soundtrack, all the DJs that are down with
all
us.
All the DJs, and we got we got a sound guy coming. We got a few people coming. We were hoping to be back in the studio tonight, but it didn't work out.
And then our sponsors also,
all this bullshit.
All Rise Clothing, St. Moth Brewery. We'll be seeing them soon. We'll be doing some events with them, and also shout out to, of course, you and everybody that helps support 3 Dreams. Thank you, Joseph. Thank you.
Hey, thanks everybody, man. We appreciate you guys. Tune in next week. We'll be back live and direct, whether we have to do it on Zoom or in the studio. Hopefully we'll be back, but you don't know, man. There's crazy times right now. Thank you, Dani, for staying positive. People look for that sometimes because it's a negative shit right now going on. And thank you, everybody, that's staying upbeat and knowing that better days are coming. Thank you, man. B-Side Show. We out of here.
I love y'all. Peace.
Peace out.